I'm Jess Jr. I'm from Hesperia, California. The one specific one that pops out, the reason it pops out is because of how pure of a moment that those were to me in that time. And that's my grandmother, my grandma Rosie. At her house in Upland, California. And I don't know exactly what age I am, but these are some of my first memories as a human being. And part of it is her getting me in my mind, because I don't know exactly what was going on, right? You only remember what you remember as a kid, right? So what I remember is, to me in my mind, I had a whole pizza to myself. I don't know where it came from, whatever, regardless, Domino, pizza, whatever the hell it was. I had a whole pizza to myself and a whole 2 liter of Pepsi. Yeah, I said a 2 liter of Pepsi. And she would put me in the living room with some Buzz Lightyear to watch, the Buzz Lightyear movie at that time. And that's just the most purest, fondest childhood memory that I had. Did I gangbang? Yes and no. I was about 13 at the time when I moved there, roughly. And I found myself involved with the crowd of gangbanging. I did get jumped in to the gang at that time, which was something that came about through another peer of mine that wanted to join the gang. And so I'm kicking it at this guy's house, and we're just doing what's normal to us at that time, which, looking back at, was not very normal in general. And when I say that because we're looking at his dad's gun. You know, we're playing with it. Not playing with it like shooting it, but he's like, come check out my dad's gun type shit. You know, and so we're in his room, his dad's room, right? His dad's not there. And, messing with his gun, blah, 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 blah. Blase, right? And so I can remember specifically, I could paint this picture for you because I remember it from my memory. We're in this friend's room at the time, right? This friend at the time. And I remember him on the phone, well, first talking to me and explaining to me that he was looking to join a crew, right? Regardless of whether he called it a gang or a crew or whatever he called it at the time. He was looking to join an association, right? Because there was a lot in the area at that time, a lot to choose from. And that's the approach that he took, was there's a lot to choose from, and I'm trying to see who's the highest bidder. That's literally what it seemed like for me at that time, in that moment specifically. And so then I could remember that he was on the phone with this crew, right? And then off the phone, and then on the phone with this crew. And just trying to see which one was the right fit and which one was the right place for him to be and join. And so now I'm in this situation, and homeboy's trying to figure out which crew he wants to join in, and it ends up being the crew that I ended up joining maybe a few days later. It all happened very fast. And at the time, my brother's not around. He's up north in Northern California. And so I'm experiencing all this, out on my own at the friend's house, experiencing life on my own right now as an adolescent. And so he makes his decision, and I pretty much follow. And that's a big part of my story in my early years as well, is just being a follower. So, one more time.
Describe that moment, that event that happened that told you it's time for a whole new life.
Okay. It's a lot more recent in my life. So when I say recent, take it back maybe a year, give or take. the moment or event that told me that it was time to really make a change to my lifestyle, things that I was doing. So now, along my life, along my journey up until this point, post brother dying, I end up dabbling at first in drugs. And when I say drugs, cocaine was there, but the main thing was crystal meth. And so I got into crystal meth. At first it was just a dabble, like I said. But over a year, a span of maybe, let's just say roughly, let's say from 14 or 15 to 25. So about 10 year span, right? So now I'm on my own to experience life on my own. Like I said a little bit earlier, and I'll dive a little bit into it, is that meth was around all the time. And this is, when I say it's around, I'm talking about that same group of people that I started hanging out with, that I got jumped into the gang with. These are my peoples, right? And it's always around from the very beginning. For a long time, it would go completely unattractive to me and never was pushed on me, never was forced on me. It just was something that some of the people did. Fast forward, brother dies. I'm pretty much experiencing life on my own now with no guidance, with no structure, because my brother was that for me and beyond. But I make the decision one night to try this drug called crystal meth. That would be a decision that would end up catching up with me later in my years. My brother was the one who, in my eyes, raised me, taught me, educated me, loved me, kept me right. So, that being said, he passed away, and it wasn't like immediately, oh, I want to go start a family. No, but along the journey of me traveling this road that I've been on, post his death, I ended up having this hole in my heart, right? There's a vacancy. There's something missing right there, right? My brother took a whole piece of my heart with him, like, so there's an empty void. And so somewhere along the lines of my journey, I realized that I wanted a family. Not that I wanted a child, not that I wanted a wife, not that I wanted, right? I wanted a family. I wanted the child, the wife. I wanted that lifestyle. I wanted that purpose, right? You know, I have this void. I'm hurt. I'm lost. I've got no real passion anymore. I've got no direction. You know, what's the point of living, right? Because I had, you know, my bouts with suicide and all that. You know, it was just something that I felt would hold me down, would be my anchor, something that I felt would love me back, something that I felt would comfort me, something that I felt would benefit me, something that I felt was me, because I feel like all I have is love to give. My woman, who ended up having my son, is well above, and I don't want to get in trouble for this. We good though. Me and her, we got a good understanding, so we good. She'll probably laugh at this as she's watching it too, but she's above the age that's safe to have a child. Like, she's at the age where you're not supposed to really have a child. Seriously, she's well above the age that I am. She ends up pregnant, and by this point, 4 abortions, 2 miscarriages, me being hooked on drugs, me being young, me being misguided, me being hurt, me being all these things. I just, you know, me having that conclusion with God that I'd never be a father, it was out of my mind. It was gone. So she had told me she was pregnant, and it literally was like when they say in one ear and out the other, that's literally what it was. It was in one ear, out the other. I go to rehab, and not only do I go to rehab, but my intentions are to go get clean, but also to leave the mother of my child. I'm done with this relationship. it's not suiting me, it's not good for me, there's nothing there for me, and I leave. And that's just a plus, mind you. That's a benefit. that's like a cherry on top. But I need to go get clean, right? So there's these two things working together. I go rehab, and I'm locked down. You got minimum. Well, typically there's a minimum 30 days, whatever. You don't have your phone. Well, I was in there longer than that. And when I went to rehab, I went all willingly and all like, give me as much as I can get from this place. I get my phone back, and now I have pictures, because these have all been sent to me while I've been in rehab, right, without my knowledge. So now when I get my phone back, I've got all these messages. I'm blown up. I got family, friend, whatever, everybody, But the one thing was my woman now, with the sonogram picture. I have a sonogram picture in my text messages, and this is my child. Peace and purpose. That's what my son has brought me. That's what being a father has brought me so far. And he's 8 months old. He's 8 months old. This is fresh. This is new. There's just no words. There's no words for that moment when he was born. And I decided to name him after my brother, Gabriel. And now that boy's in my life. And so now I've got to experience 8 months of this beautiful baby boy that I can't help but smile when I think of him. I really cannot help but smile. And my phone is filled with his pictures, all that. Those are the typical normal parent things now.
Hey, Papa, say hi. Say hello. Hello.
Yeah, we're just gonna get some shots. Both of them real quick.
Take. You say hello. Say hi to the camera. Say hi, right here. Look. Look. Hello. Hello. My boy.
I've been riding solo like I'm rolling Kawasaki. Man, them stop signs couldn't stop me. Been through hell and back, don't mock me. Look, I ain't one to bullshit. They so childish how they bullshit. I've been on my living true shit since Momos. These hoes is clueless. Buried in my dirt, me death and karma. Such a flirt. 3 baby mamas, 0 verses. It's a curse. I'm in the hearse. Me death and karma, would it work? Must be a curse beyond the hearse. I'm still on earth, it's getting worse. Look. And I sold all my guns, and it wasn't for funds, and it wasn't so fun. I left Lil Mookie his lungs, I talked about it in songs. I scarred my girl and her moms, I put her daughter in harm, I put a knife to her arm.